Welcome back to the weight room. Thanks for joining us again today. Another episode in. Some more great info for everyone, including myself. Going to learn a little bit from today's guest, and we're going to jump right on in here, let him introduce himself, and start this thing up. Good to talk to you. Good. How are you doing?
Good.
First, just if you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Jay Slates here. I'm a bodybuilder. I've been competing since 2014, like I would say seriously competing. I did start training in 2009. That was '09. Yeah. When I was 18, so in '09. And then it's just the idea of when training started, it was definitely because I was addicted to football first. And then I was like, I wanted to continuously find a way to get better. Then I just got addicted to the weight room. But I still was going to go play for college football. But then it was like, I got hurt. The worst thing a man would not want to deal with. Testicular cancer.
Oh,
I had to get that shot. Yeah, oh my gosh, dude, that was hard. It was hard. But the thing is, everything came back negative, which is good. And I tried talking to my coach, told him all about my health situations, and I was dedicated to playing. I was definitely dedicated. And he just like was saying, because of this, how about we redshirt you? But if you really want to play, get in that weight room, lift some weights. If I see you, we'll get you back on the field. And I'm like, damn, that's what I fell in love with. All right, let's take advantage of it. Let's get on it. Let's start lifting weights. And I'm thinking, I want to get on that field. And then, I started doing it. And the weight room was outside the locker room where the football players was. I get going, and I'm in the weight room. I'm lifting, and these football players are passing the weight room, and then rumors are going out saying he's so much of a pussy that can't make it on the football field, but can lift weights. I'm like, dude, I'm listening to my coach. I'm sorry. What the hell,
Yeah.
And then, that just pushed me away from that. And even, he won one game out of 3 years. And I was like, I can't be around this evilness. And I already in high school, we barely won. And it was like, I was getting tired of losing. I was like, I don't want to play for them if they're only going to win one game out of 3 years. I'm wasting my time when I could take advantage of something where I know I could place and do better than versus being around people that just don't want to be good, don't do good at all. I can't do that. Too much negativity, and it just brings you down.
Starting kind of maybe at the beginning when you started training in 2009, what got you into that?
That's when I was playing football, and I wanted to just get stronger and ready to play for college football. And it's just, I fell in love with it. I got addicted to lifting.
How was the strength conditioning where you were at in high school? Was it serious? Was it kind of just a little bit of thrown together stuff? What kind of level was that?
It was a lot of very serious. I met a guy. Let me actually explain this. I met a guy at the gym, and this is basically what got me into bodybuilding and what got my training serious. And basically what I learned is I went to a gym, ran into a guy that used to know about bodybuilding, new bodybuilders, and he was telling me about bodybuilding training. And I was like, it just made me think all these guys that are bodybuilders are getting huge and they're strong. And I'm like thinking, I want to just be big, but stocky big to play football, but extremely strong. So I'm thinking, all right, let me take advantage of this guy's info of training, all this and that. And then I'm going to take advantage of that to go play football.
Where did you go to high school? You're from Indiana?
I'm actually on the border of Indiana. I went to Niles High School. I'm in Michigan still.
Okay.
Which is good because I'm competing in Mr. Michigan next year.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm excited for sure.
So you say your bodybuilding competition started in 2014. Was that, I guess, kind of the end of, you stopped playing football, you were looking for something to kind of win at? You said you kind of focused a little bit there on not wanting to lose anymore.
Exactly. And the guy that I was helping me train and stuff says he always wanted to compete, and he never did though, and he hasn't still. And I told him, I was like, guess what, I'll do it. And he was like, okay, prove me wrong. And I did it. I did it in 2010. I first competed there. That was my first comp. But I only did it to say I could do it. And I told him I would do it. And I did, but then I got addicted. And I couldn't stop putting my mind to bodybuilding, weight training, continuously building muscle. When I was at all of that and I first started, like the first month practice of football, I built up so much growth. When I was 18, I was impressed with myself, and I was like looking at it, it's crazy. And then I get on the field and the weightlifting stopped, and I just shrunk from all the cardio, all this that. It put me through this depressed state. When I felt that, it was hard to even want to play also with that situation, because you get all those games and lose it like that. It's not easy. It gets that mental in bodybuilding.
You know, I think a lot of people kind of went through that actually, not necessarily to the same degree, but during quarantine, the way, you know, when gyms shut down and everything, people couldn't go, you know, get a good, what they felt like was a good workout in. They stopped seeing that progress, and started seeing, you know, negativity towards, you know, their progress. Did you experience any of that?
I actually had a good friend that let me train in his house that was he was actually creating into a gym this year, but didn't get to open it because of the coronavirus. Luckily, I had a good spot, and you know you was saying, it's hard on people. I hate to say this, but I had a friend that used to always train, and I mean, we think this is why he did it, because he just started feeling more depressed, but he committed suicide. Guy used to love the train. Wow. And suicide rate went up right when shutdowns happened. And it was just like, things aren't good. And I was getting a little worried in the beginning, because I actually just had a surgery. And I was like, I took a month off, and I'm like hoping I could find a spot. I posted something on Facebook, and then I had my friend contact and said, come to say, he had great stuff too.
Is it something natural for you to gain that muscle and to gain that size, or is it something that you really have to, not that you wouldn't anyway, but like focus super in depth on and be super, you know, oriented on making sure everything's perfect, or is it something that's just a little bit more natural to you?
I can't believe, and I get shocked sometimes, and it's not in any way showing off, but I can't believe my genetics sometimes. If you go check my Facebook, Instagram, I did a 29 days before and after, and I went down to 244. At 29 days, I went down to 236, and I looked double the size of what I was at 244.
That's crazy.
I have no clue. They say that people, no matter what they take or what they do, they don't see people do that naturally at all, or put the work in that hard, or have the genetics that good to be able to do that. It doesn't matter, you know, what people do. Not a lot of people can do that, and I was shocked. A big thing with bodybuilding is always going to be the structure of making sure you're all in place. Like right now, my arms are too big. I literally have to stop working them because my shoulders need to look bigger around them. And then you get those people that do bodybuilding. Anybody can still look good shredded. But the more time you go up and try to keep going forward on other levels of bodybuilding, it's going to be hard, because if you can't grow a good bicep, but your tricep is pretty big, you're going to be unequal, you know? Yeah. So that's going to mark you points right there. And that's where the eyes aren't going to be on them anymore. And that's the biggest key. I had a guy message me saying he wanted me to coach him. And he said all he wanted was big arms. Like, that's not how it works in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of people do think the biggest guy always wins, or, you know.
Exactly. All about perfection.
Yeah. So when you started competing and you were getting more serious into competing, how did you kind of take that to the next level? What next step did you take to really get serious about it?
I'm willing to let it out. I mean, it's just a podcast, and you know, it's all good. It's all good. I'll let it out. So basically, the big thing that really started with me with bodybuilding when it really got serious is when I went to Wayne State. So I went to my first college. I went, and then I went to Detroit to go to that college. I transferred there, and I was doing my best. It was hard. I can't say I'm the smartest fella, but it's not easy because I have health issues. And for people that know me, and I'm going to do my best to motivate you as much as possible when I talk through this, I was going at Wayne State, and I was averaging between 10 to 15 seizures a month and still trying to get through college. But it was difficult. But the thing is, what I would still do no matter what throughout the college would still try to make it to the weight room. And the more time it was going on, the more time I'm thinking, how can I pull off learning all this stuff when it basically, a seizure comes on? It's like I'm restarting. I got to learn it. But I always knew how to train. And I got a hold of one of my guys in Florida, and I just wanted to talk to him about it. And I had a good friend at Wayne State, and he was a guy that lived in. He told me straight up, like, dude, just don't go to college anymore. Seriously, take advantage of going pro. He believed in me so much. And I get a hold of my guy in Florida, and I said, dude, I want to go to the next level. We'll start here, go to the next level with taking anabolics. And then I got out of college, and I wanted to start right away. But the thing is, this is where I'm going to go on based off genetics. I'll start right here at a senior year, 160. I could squat 455, bench 315. I never did deadlift, and I weighed 160. When I went to my first college, I got up to, if I remember right, 180, and then I could bench 365. And if I remember right, I think I got up to 505. No, I think that, yeah, 505, because then when I went to Wayne State, then I got up to 210, and I could squat up to 545, and then I got my bench up to 455. And all this time, all natural, no anabolics, literally only a protein shake and pre-workout. If pre-workout is considered unnatural, you're an idiot. No, come on, really? Yeah. Give me a break. This was all natural, no anabolics, nothing. And then when I started taking anabolics in 2013, I got out of college, and the first year, I knew what to do, but I didn't know the idea of how you should do it with dieting, because I thought the idea was get as big as possible, then get as shredded as possible, but it was getting big, no matter what you do, getting fat, whatever, all that. And I did it wrong. And I pretty much looked horrible in 2013. I was so bloated.
So you were feeling more like the power lifter than the bodybuilder at that point.
Yeah, that's basically what I look like, because it did get up to when I first started. When I first started anabolics, strength went up like crazy. I was repping 585 out on squatting. I was getting up to, if I remember right, my bench press got up to 505. Yeah, 505 when I was 23. And I finally got going on some military press more. And my strength wasn't the best of it because I didn't do it that much. But I got it up to 225 in the beginning. But then over time goes, like in 2018, I was repping out 365 like it was nothing. And then when 2014 happened, the first 2013 was simply like a trial. Let's see how it goes first year with anabolics. And I did simple ones. I didn't do anything crazy at all. It was simply just testosterone. And people are wondering, okay, you're taking only 250 milligrams, and I'm being dead serious, only 250 for 10 weeks and improving that much. People normally to improve that much at least needs to be between 500 to 750 to get stuff like that.
What do you really see other than the physical like strength and things what do you see at that level of dosage, I guess?
Well, when it comes to a higher dosage, it's usually on where your body is and how you adapt to it and how much you really need. Because if you don't need a lot and you're still putting a lot of gains in a good amount, and even if you make the same amount on a little higher, there's no reason to increase. It's basically how people react. Some people need high dose. Some people don't based off genetics. Right now, I have been going higher just because, I mean, over years, my body has adapted to it more. So I need to take advantage of a little bit higher dose, but I'm still not as high as what other people really go.
What kind of came next? You saw that progress you went, you got to see kind of what went down. Just curious kind of what even after that, the next kind of step was.
Then 2014, it got serious, and I was going to try to compete as many comps I could in 1 year. I didn't care if I could be year round, but I ended up getting 3 comps in, and I did it on my own. Every single time I competed, I've improved, and I improved on my own. And then this year I got a coach, but we'll get into that soon. But in 2014, I wanted to go 3 comps like that. And if I remember, I did 24 weeks of prep. The first comp I did pretty good. Flexing just needed to get better. I was just a little bit too thick. But then when I did my next comp, I got second on that first comp, but only out of 3. That's where it's like, nah, not even good enough for me, that shit. So but this one made me a little bit more happy. A little bit more, the second one, because I ended up placing 5th, but out of 9 people. So it made me feel a bit better to at least beat out 4 people. I can't say I can accept that at all. No way. But it made me feel like at least that's a step ahead of the week. I mean, that last comp I was at 4.
Right.
So, and then this is where it kind of dropped down. I changed up my cycle, and I can't even remember why I did this or if somebody told me about it, but it was like the dumbest mistake to do. And I look at it to this day, it was like, this is so stupid. But like 6 weeks out, I added Adrol in. Adrol is an anabolic, definitely for good strength, and it puts on so much water weight. It makes you look so thick to where all that leanness just goes away. I went from, if I remember right, my first comp, I was at 207. That was the first comp. And then out of a couple weeks, I think it was like 2 weeks later or 3, that next comp. And then I went from 207 to 213. And then it took 6 weeks for the last one. And I went from 213 to 230. And it wasn't muscle, all right? It was not muscle.
Right.
That was putting on so much water weight to where I was just looking inflated, but all the definition went away. And like I said, I don't know why. I think I may have heard something. And I've done some research now on what people do, and I could have done it wrong because a lot of people actually take a little bit of Adrol like 2 days before a comp because it can kill your appetite to where it can put you in a little bit of a dry state as well. So people have tried that, and it can definitely work.
So is that kind of thing kind of based on, do you go to somebody that's done it and used whatever you're currently using and say, hey, what's the best way to do this? Like, how do you figure that out?
You definitely got to do a lot of research, and you got to know a lot of people that know chemists. It's like you got to know people to know people.
I hear you.
You know, because once things got started, I was always just taking prescription. I was taking prescription stuff for fun.
Is the community, the bodybuilding community that you're directly kind of in there with, is it pretty supportive as far as like, hey, I'll help you. I can like tell you how to do this a little bit better, or is it kind of everybody's kind of hush hush about what they're doing?
Actually, we're more laid back now. You can actually go to like I don't know if I want to call it classes or anything, but like what the Q&A ones, yeah, Q&A classes, and you get talking to these bodybuilders, and you can just ask questions, and they can tell you the science of it. They're not telling you take it, but the science of it, of what it does. But it's like it's learning experience from people that have known people, and I know some pretty good people that have definitely helped me out. I don't know if I want to say their names yet, but I'm going to be heading to the Olympia here in like 2 weeks to meet up with a friend that I've been in a group with, and he's the one that has taught me a lot about anabolics too, and it's just going to be a fun day. Can't wait.
Like I feel like everybody needs, even if you're not a serious competitor, everybody needs at least somebody to, say, hey, come on, we can, you can do it today, and you don't feel like doing it, but it's going to be worth it when you get done. Like just the motivation to kind of help somebody along. I think everybody needs that in their life.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good. It's just like networking, you got to be, that's the whole point. Because what got started with this group is if you see all those videos, that's what I'm getting paid to do. I'm getting paid to do those crazy videos, and I put them on a page, website, and people look at these, and then automatically they're contacting me. It's like, what's your diet? What's your training? What's your cycle? How can we put this together? You want me to coach you and go through it with you? Stuff like that. And they're paying me $200 for like 4 weeks, and it just builds up, and it's been great.
When somebody does say, hey, I want your help, is there that initial like, okay, here's what you should expect kind of deal? Like, do you look at each individual person and say, this is where we kind of expect you to be based on your, what you've been doing in the past, or what you think your genetics are, or something like that?
If somebody's going to start a cycle, if this is what we're getting at, like, they definitely need to go over everything. It's like really good to know how your estrogen and testosterone is. It's good to get it checked before you start doing stuff. There's people that can be lucky and unlucky, and it's people that can get the side effects where estrogen is taken over, and there's people that have so high testosterone, it's like their estrogen isn't even going to come close to bothering them. And the people that have that issue really need that get the side effects of estrogen really need to find a perfect balance. And that can be difficult because you never know what could be good for them unless they see a doctor. But still, the thing is, you never know if the doctor's going to be correct.
Right.
Because you're trying to find a perfect balance to where the estrogen is going to be in control, and you got a good amount of testosterone to where the estrogen is going to take over to cause all those side effects that could be definitely bad.
We kind of started off today. We talked a little bit about kind of your splits and stuff like that. What's your crazy 9-month adventure? Talk a little bit more about that. That was very I'd love to hear about that 9-month of everyday training and just kind of going hard.
Oh, dude, that was no. I just got so addicted because see what happened was the year before in 2017 I had a surgery, and I can't remember. I think I was off for 2 months, and for some reason this motivated me in 2018 because the first day of January 1st was on a Monday, and it made me think, okay, all right, it's the starting line. Let's see how far we can go on training every day with our comeback. And I did it for 9 months. It was crazy. Then, like, things got a little difficult because the flood happened, took the house after that 9 months, and it was like, things just got difficult trying to find a way to get in the gym. Hit the gym because, just trying to get everything together with this house. It was just, oh my gosh, it just got difficult where it was just too stressful. So like that's when it got a little bit more difficult trying to get to the gym as much as I used to.
I mean, during that 9 months, was it just like pure motivation, or was it discipline, or what was it to do that?
Oh, it was definitely discipline, but I just got motivated because I was on a total comeback, and I'm like thinking, I was like, all right, game time. Let's go. We're gonna get that pro card. We're gonna compete. We're gonna win and get that pro card and just dominate. And that was my whole mindset. I was getting tired. Out of like the last 2 years, I was getting surgeries, and my surgery in 2017. I was like thinking to myself, this is my last one. I'm not gonna have to worry about anything. So it's like I'm set free. It's like let's just focus on competing and going pro now.
When you started doing that, did you tell anybody like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing"? Like, did people respond to it in a certain way? Like, what did other people think when you did it or before you did it?
They thought it was nuts the fact that I pulled off every day.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, I can't say I was there. I went there every day and did hours of training, but sometimes because I would have my light leg days, and I seriously would just stay in there and do maybe one lap of lunges around the gym, maybe do some leg extension, some leg curls, but high reps, 3 sets, 25, and then I get out. That's little things I would do. So I can't say every day was not some type of extreme stuff.
Right.
If you because I would have a chest and back day, I would just simply do maybe one, maybe two chest exercises, two back exercises. But I would be easy. I wouldn't even be doing failure. I would just be doing almost like a medium level set reps. So not too hard, but not too easy, just to get a little bit of tightness going on both sides. Not extreme, but a little. And I would be doing that, but then I would have Monday hard, Tuesday hard, Wednesday hard, Thursday hard. But throughout that whole time of the 4 days of arms, it would be light arms. And then on every Saturday, it will be a hard arm blast. I would do that.
How much of it was a strict program? Was it all a strict program? Was the hard days a strict program, or the other days were kind of just throwing it in? Like, what was that? What was your programming like?
So since I was 18, I started creating training programs, and I've worked up to 24 different workout programs that I've used out throughout the years. And every single program is 4 weeks. I put it this way, I started out this mindset of trying to create 13. Because you got to think, yes, there's 12 months in a year, but if you do the math with weeks, in a way, there's 13 months. So I think, all right, let's build 13 programs. So every month could be different. I'm training because that has always been my key for growth and strength is all about muscle confusion. And at 4 weeks is the perfect amount because you could do 6 and then you get to a plateau, but 4 is perfect where you need to be. And then every 4 weeks change. I mean, there's so many ways you can change your sets and reps.
Was it hard as far as the working around nutrition and stuff every single day like that, or was it just kind of same thing every day, going with the flow?
So in the beginning of dieting, I thought it was like eat anything and everything. I mean, like bulk dieting and stuff like that. And then I'm pretty sure when it was like 2018, I started focusing on the proper way to do like bulk dieting. And I was okay, but I would grow, but I wouldn't be that lean. So I did that until 2019. I would like do it that way where I would put down, if I remember right, 6 meals a day. But they would be huge, big meals, and it was either muffins or bagels and some rice, cottage cheese, and chicken, and just foods that you probably shouldn't be eating. And because right now, I'm being dead serious, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's only been rice, tuna, and chicken breast. That's it. Every single meal, rice, or I get chicken breast or tuna. The reason why I'll have tuna is get so tired of chicken breast. And then sometimes it gets to the point where it's like I have no energy or care to even make chicken breast. So it's like, all right, let's just eat cantina.
Goodness.
I don't even care. It's like I put a little bit of barbecue sauce on it and I just eat it, and that's it. The thing is, it's like, I don't want to say there's a negative to it, but we'll say positive, negative. But you get to the point where, well, I guess you can say this is negative. You eat so much to where you just don't want to eat no more. And if you get a craving, you want it, but you are like thinking, but I don't want to eat, so you just could care less if you get it or not. Because if you're eating 6 meals, in a way it's actually 7, 6 meals a day, nonstop of the same food, and you're eating for a job, you just don't care to eat anything else. It's really a mental thing, because it started this year where I totally put it extremely mental, and that's when it was June 1st, and I was just telling myself, let's get as serious as we can. And I started just making sure I could, I started taking it really serious on taking sativa throughout the day, because just before that, I would always take an edible of THC indica to get to sleep. But then depression started hitting, and I just started taking sativa, and things just got better. The depression started going away. And then when June 1st hit is when I was like, all right, let's try it. Let's give it a try with some training. I was like, let's give it some try.
Yeah.
A clear mind, more relaxed, and you can feel everything 10 times better. I'm like, when I first did it, I was like, there's no reason why I should stop this.
That was June 1st of this year?
Yeah, because I always get motivated for this. It may be weird to some people, but I always get motivated of, like, let's say it's the 1st of the month and it sets on a Monday. It's like, okay, like, start one. I know people might think that's crazy, and then they'll say, well, Sunday, you should start, or like people's like, it should be on a Saturday that you focus on, because, every comp will be on a Saturday, but it's like, oh, leave me alone. It's Monday always feels the best. And then I just took it serious, and every single week was just getting better, and it's just kept growing. And it was like every day was perfect. And then it was just, the thing is, the dieting, I was doing the exact same dieting I had my coach had me do in 2019, and that's when I actually first had a coach. It was in 2019 when I competed for the Western.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, we can talk about that one.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to hear
because we're gonna go, because I'm kind of going ahead and then explaining from the back.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about that period, 2019 to now.
Yeah, so 2019 is when I was growing really big, but I was so thick. And then I was like, all right, I was doing all these crazy lists. I was doing insane. They were still seeing from 2018 to 2019 on all this crazy list I was doing. And then this coach contacted me. I actually talked to him before, but then he wasn't exactly contacting me, but he was commenting on every single video I was doing and was just impressed. And then we just wanted to meet up, and he wanted to see me do something. And I said, I'll do something heavy for you. And he says he's never seen he's only seen somebody do this weight in a bench comp, and it was difficult for this person, but he's never seen it in the gym. I told him, I'll do 505 bench press. I'll do flat back with 1 rep. and I did it. I did one rep, and I don't know why, but for some reason I went down, and I did a pause, and I got that rep off easy. And he was like, wow, because I saw that. He was like, I'll coach you. It was like, you see, because he saw my video when I benched 550. He saw my video when I did 455, I think, legs up for 5 reps. He saw that. And he saw it when I did 505 for 4 reps. I think he saw when I did my power bench press. That's where it's on bars. I did 505 for 3 reps right there. He saw my video when I did 505 at my first bench comp that I won. Somebody just invited me. I said, hell, why not do it? I got the best weight. Nobody beat me. And then he saw my video when I did 200-pound dumbbell press. I actually took a drive to Pennsylvania and trained at Dana Daly's gym. And I was going out there with a friend to help pick up some stuff to get it for his gym. And we had to pick up stuff in that same area. And I was like, okay, let's go to her gym. And we actually met Rob Bailey. That was really cool. And I'm like, I'm seeing those 200-pound dumbbells in here. I was like, my friend, his name's Matt. I was like, Matt, you know what? Look at him. I was like, I don't want to see what it'd be like to lift those. And he was like, I pick up one, and then he picked one and put it in my lap. And I did it, and I did a good 6 reps. I didn't even drop the weight. I don't like to drop the weight. I like to push it off to where it lands on my knees, and it just picks me up. It seems easier, to tell you the truth. But other than that, and then he's seen all these videos, and he just wanted to do it. And that was a good day. That was fun. And then he coached me in 2019. I didn't do my best. Health issues came into that. And then I was making so much good results in games this year. And we made a deal where it's like, I told him, it's like, I'll hack squat 1,000 pounds in 2 weeks. And we'll talk about you coaching me.
Wow.
And in 2 weeks, I did it like it was nothing. And I've never done that way before. Then we talked about it, and he got me in, and now it's go time. It's only been 5 weeks so far. This week will be the 6th week after it's finished.
Who are you working with?
My coach is Justin Harris.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I talked to him. I talked to him a while back on the podcast, and it was a really good talk. Definitely a super smart
cool dude.
guy.
He comes off as he really laid back about it, because I actually just watched his Hostile podcast with how do you say his name? Fahad Abid or whatever. And he did. He was talking with him on his podcast. That was interesting, because they were like showing Ben Pollock stuff, and damn, he's nuts.
So what have you seen just from working with him?
Well, last year was great. He really came off as he really cared, and that's what I like. I told him, it's like, dude, it's like I apologized to him every single time I had a health issue, and I hated it. I hated it. But he told me, he was like, you can take it off. You don't have to do it. But, I'm so dedicated to where I could care less if, like, get my leg cut off. I'm still going to finish. It's just, like, I feel like I have nothing to lose with all the health issues I've had. And it's like 20 weeks, and we did decent. But out of that 20 weeks, it sucked when my epilepsy came back. And I just had it was either 14 or 18. I can't remember. But I think at least 14. I think it was 14 seizures out of 20 weeks. And that was throughout comp prep. I ended up in the ER 3 times. And it was just, but I still did it.
Right.
I had a seizure, I think, 10 days before my comp. I still competed it, though.
What's the turnaround time to going back in and training?
Oh, that can be difficult based off of, like, how you're going to feel. Gotcha. I mean, sometimes, this new area, I had my brain, like 2 areas of my brain damage throughout when I was growing up. In 2016, I had 2 areas of my brain removed, and the whole plan was they were just really, really damaged. Like half the side of these 2 parts of my brain, my hippocampus and my amygdala, was half of the size of what it's supposed to be of what on my right side. So that was what was causing my epilepsy, and that had to be removed. And I was going close to 2 years seizure free, but the whole plan was to wean me off my medicine. Who knows? Not be able to take medicine anymore. But we need to kind of go with it, see if I'll have a seizure or not. I got off one of my medicines and I had one more, and I ended up having a seizure, and it was just so horrible that it came back. And it got back in control, but over time it just got worse. And it was just so hard in 2019 to compete with dealing with that. It was really hard, but I did it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not easy to give up. We can go as back as you want to go. I mean, because there's more to it. It's like I'm starting in reverse. I mean, when I was younger, I was always sick. I was always sick. When I was 6 is when I got diagnosed with leukemia. That was trouble. I didn't come in full remission until like 6 years. So when I was 12, and when I was 8, I had a stroke, which damaged my hippocampus and my amygdala. And throughout the years, I ended up starting to have seizures. And when I was younger, it was in control. But then over time, weaning me off my medicine, seizures came back. So it felt like I would have to be in control. And then over time, as I got older, it just started getting worse once I started getting into like senior year in high school. Then in college, I can't tell you how many times I had a seizure when I was a senior year playing football on the field, because I would have small aura seizures. Those are really tiny ones, but they ended up over the years got to the point where they weren't just tiny stare-offs to, next thing you know, just not knowing what I'm doing, and somehow I'm over there or over there. I'm in a random room. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
But I would be on that field and I would be having a seizure, but I would still play even though my head felt like it was just totally exploded. And that was probably not, good, but it's hard. It's hard for me to give up. It's just hard. And then once I went to college, it seems like it got a little bit more in control, because I think I got on another medicine with it. And when I was at my first college, Olivet, it wasn't that bad, but I did have, I think, 2 ER real bad seizures that made me go to the ER. But then when I was at Wayne State, that's when it got to the point where I was having tiny aura seizures, and I would have the average between 10 to 15 a month out of the whole time I was at Wayne State. And like I told you in the beginning, it just got to the point where it made me think, why can't I go to college if I just can't even learn? And then when I stopped going to college, I ended up being a personal trainer. And I did that for a while. And then next thing you know, seizures started getting really bad in 2015. Really bad. In 2014, it was okay. I did have a few seizures throughout my comp prep there also that were really bad, but it wasn't as many as I got to when it was in 2015. And then when 2016 happened, I think it was it out of 10 months? Out of 10 months before brain surgery, I had 110 seizures. And then I had brain surgery, and I was expecting to get better, and then it came back, and it's hard, but I'm trying to get through it, and it's been difficult the past year, and how much it came back because of when I was in prep. till now, and I'm going to be having another surgery because I've been through 6 different medicines, and my doctor's telling me is like, this is kind of what we really need to do, but it is my choice, because if we're going through 6 medicines and they're not working, and then like in the beginning before I had surgery, continuously add medicine on and it wasn't working to the point where it would damage it even more. So we're in a situation, if we get to the point where maybe some of it works, but over time it's not controlling it enough, that area is going to continuously start to get worse and shrink. So we're in a state of basically it could happen or not happen, but it happened before. So it's either take this chance to get an RNS implant, like a pacemaker, on that side to where it will control everything, or just take a risk and maybe it won't damage in the future. But if it does, I will have to have another area removed or things will get really bad. And they say this area on the memory, it could put me in a state almost as if I would be going through dementia if I was having it taken out. And it would happen before my 40s. So right now, my game plan is, when I told what's up with Justin, I was like, let's go. I'm going to compete, Mr. Michigan, of course, dominate it. Then we're going to see what's next, because I'm either debating if I want to have my surgery after the comp, or I was actually thinking last night if we could possibly try to pull off winning Mr. Michigan. No, we will win Mr. Michigan, but possibly if we should try to compete in North Americans in 3 months after that and then have the surgery.
Gotcha.
Because my game plan, I was thinking qualify for nationals, get the surgery done. It could average between a 4 to 6 month bed rest. And then possibly, because if you qualify, you get 2 years. So possibly, what would it be, like 2013? Find a way. We probably wouldn't be able to put much growth on, but try to get in there as a light heavyweight and win it and get the pro card at that. But I'm kind of liking this idea of just waiting until maybe after September and try to get it one and done.
That's just really cool that you've overcome all that, and the fact that you're dealing with it and you're still trying to, become a better person at what you're doing, be the best. And I think that's just a really good message, and something that is kind of like in a movie almost, like, we see it in a movie, but it's so hard to see it in real life because we're all, especially on social media and even just within our own group of friends, it's so hard to share what's going wrong in our life or what we've struggled with. And the fact that you can kind of just like come out and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. These are my obstacles, but I'm still going to push through it. I'm going to get it done anyway, and I'm going to try to be the best.
I don't think Justin likes it when I say this, but I always think of it. It's just like, I'm in a situation where I just feel every day is like, what do I got to lose? I've been through hell and back. It's like, you got to think, I am in a situation, I'm going to be real serious with you. And it happened November 2nd. I had a seizure to where my lungs shrunk. Like, it felt like they were like totally sucked in, and it felt like it was in my abdomen, like my stomach. And my whole body was tight. And I was on my left side, holding a pillow, and I tried pushing my arm out as I was stiff to try to pull to my right, to pull that cord because I wasn't breathing. I think if I was an unhealthy person, I would have died that day.
Right.
But I stayed in shape, and I pushed it out to where I didn't have to pull the emergency cord. So I live in an apartment unfortunately, I live in an apartment where I have to live in a place that, for safety reasons. But I would like to have an independent life, and that's like, so what I'm saying is like, what do I got to lose? That could happen any time. it just sucks to say, you know. I mean, that's what I do. It's hard for me to give up, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the best attitude to have about it.
It's been a difficult life for me, but you know, I push through it, and it's just, come on. The reason why I can't give up, or I know I'm not going to go pro and make it to Olympia and all that. I mean, you got to think. I think every day. It's like, if I can't do it, that doesn't make sense. I beat cancer.
Right.
I was in a hospital bed with a doctor sawing my skull open to take out 2 parts of my brain. Bodybuilding is simple. I mean, come on. I've had up to 10 surgeries in my life, and a lot of them had to do with cancer and seizures. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I mean, and I'm lucky. I'm lucky the fact that I have this genetics too. I mean, like I told you all the natural when I did the stuff when I was natural. I told you where I am with antibiotics. I mean, like I said, when I was younger, natural, not a lot of people saw that. I'm not saying it was, crazy, heavy in a way, but compared to what I can do now, that's like the whole point of bodybuilding is when people think of the anabolics and stuff is there is genetics to it. There is, you know, it can't just be anabolics doing the work. That's not how, you really have to have genetics because somebody's going to have issues growing this muscle, that muscle, trying to equal out, do all that stuff. The next time I see Justin, he's going to be, and I hope he is, going to be surprised on how much I improved on my back since the last time I seen him.
So your next one is next year, so you got some time to prepare for that. Got some time to certainly get ready.
I got time for sure. The way it's coming off, I really like how Justin's doing it. It's just so smart. And it makes sense. I mean, I just watched Joe Rogan the other day, and this is insane, but we all know he's freaking a maniac, crazy, huge dude, Ronnie Coleman, saying his bulk, when he bulked, if I remember, I could be wrong on like the point, but I think he said it during his bulk, he was 3.7 body fat percentage.
Wow.
And they're in contest prep. I think he said it was 1.5%. And that's just insane. That is nuts. But what I was watching, the hostile thing that Justin was on, I'm watching stuff and his idea, and of course it's smart. You got to think, if Ronnie's doing it, it makes sense on how bodybuilding is. He's going to try, if I remember right, I don't exactly remember the percentage he is, but definitely lower. So I think his idea was like 5 to 7, but like the same concept of what Ronnie Coleman's do. Just be low, but at a good amount, but not too low, as in, like, for instance, you don't want to be 1% low. Right. During a bulk. I don't know how that would work. But, you know, I like that idea because, you know, I was talking with my guy, Jeff. There you go. What's up, dude? That's my good friend that's done a lot of my good training videos. Go check him out on YouTube. And Jeff was telling me about how, you know, all these bodybuilders do that just because so it can be an easy, who knows if you just need a 6-week prep. You know, what if you just need 8-week prep? You don't need to be pulling off 20 weeks for a prep for a comp when it could be a little bit more simple. We're already low enough at body fat percentage where you only need maybe 6, 8 weeks to get down to that low for that contest, bro. It's smart. The thing is, and, you know, you think about it, and, you know, over time, I believe you'll change your mind on how you view it because you're going to think of getting big is key. And yes, Justin has been making me focus, and I'm seeing it more because you got to think of letting the growth just come with it, but staying lean. You know, growth will just come with it. So that's how I'm viewing it, because one person that I always notice about that does that I've seen over the years, and he's always stayed lean, and is Regan Grimes. I think that's his name. I watch him a lot, and I see a lot of his before and afters, and he just, he's just staying. It looks like he stays the same, and he's just growing. And that's the idea.
Past that September competition, what are your real long-term, as far as just at the end of the day, when you're done with bodybuilding, what do you want to say you have achieved?
Oh, I want all of it. I want the whole thing. The whole thing. I want to get that Olympia, and I want to live that life as a bodybuilder. But I definitely still want to go back to college, because I don't want to say, like, I don't want to get to that level to where, I'm there and I have nothing else to do because I retired. So I do want to get back. I'm thought about being in the medical field, and I want to do this. And I don't know why. But I mean, I love them on my arms, but I don't know why. But drawing blood and phlebotomy has always been interesting to me. I know it's weird, but you're drawing blood, and you always got to remember you're drawing blood for a reason, and you're going to learn stuff from the reasons that you're drawing blood of. Very true. It interests me. See, the thing is, I mean, people would say, hey, just get involved with bodybuilding again, or all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I guess it's just me, but I don't like to put pressure on myself for if I was to coach somebody. I don't think I could do the coaching. I was a personal trainer, and I hated it. Just didn't like it. The whole point of what I find interesting about the full body, why I find it interesting, but it's also, you got to think that's going to be a job that's escape from the weight room. So at least when I'm done with that, I'll actually enjoy and want to go to the gym.
I really appreciate your time and your honesty and your openness, and it was a really, good talking to you and getting to meet you and getting to hear your story.
Yeah. There's a lot about my story, personal things. Also, we just went through the fitness, but I'm not,
right.
It's just been a crazy life. Let me just put it that way. I just love to get those times where I love to tell people about my story and motivate them.
Yeah.
Because I never want people to feel that. And I'm just so glad they're fine. I just want to motivate them. That's what I love day to day. Shout out to my guy, JD Brooks. Dude, I'm going to see you at Olympia. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. Can't wait. See you soon, buddy.
Really good talking to you. Appreciate your time, and have a great day.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Talk to you, man. Alrighty, that is the podcast. And just remember to subscribe wherever you're listening. Give us a like or a rating or a review, whatever applies to where you're listening / watching on YouTube maybe. Thank you for tuning in to The Weight Room, and we are out.